You're live.
Thank you. Welcome to the February meeting of the Board's Committee on Academic and Student Affairs. This is the first meeting for 2024, and we'll see what interesting adventures we're going to have during this year. So welcome to everybody. I would like to ask the Secretary, Ms. Davis, to call the roll, please.
Thank you, Regent Bloom. Regent Bloom.
Present.
Regent James.
Present.
Regent McCarthy.
Present.
Regent Porth.
Present.
And I'd also like to recognize our ex officio member, Professor Sisinker, and we have a quorum.
Thank you, Ms. Davis. Pleased to have, as I just welcomed, pleased to have Chancellor Chang with us today. And we will begin by, can I have a motion to approve the previous minutes?
So moved.
Of December 1st, the meeting of December 1st. Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
There was a first, right?
Yes.
Okay. Any comments on the minutes? If there are no comments on the minutes, all those in favor of approving the minutes of December 1st?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Minutes are approved. We have, I'm going to do something with the permission of the committee to address some of the matters we've talked about in the past. So we have on the agenda 3 discontinuations and 8 modifications. Some of these are connected to each other. So the way I'm going to do this is with considering the items that are connected at the same, coming from the same college at the same time. So the provost who will be speaking for that college can present this as a package, which is from the text clearly what's intended here. So item number 1 for consideration it would be 3A from the discontinuations from Southern. These are now coming from Southern, and 4B. Agenda item 4B, which is the modification from Southern and the communications major. Provost Brisant.
Thank you, Regent Bloom. They are indeed
Please
connected.
proceed, and with whichever of your colleagues you wish to have assist you.
I appreciate that. These are indeed 2 items that are connected. They are the result of fusing of 2 departments a few years back. We're coming to you now because we had a little delay because of the pandemic and some enrollment changes, but they are all associated with merging of communications and media studies departments. And with me today to discuss both items is the Dean of Arts and Science, Dr. Bruce Kalk, and the Chair of the Department of Communications, Media, and Screen Studies, Dr. David Petrowski. So Bruce, I turn it over to you.
Thank you, Provost Brisant. This is fairly straightforward. As the Provost indicated, several years ago, the 2 departments merged. What we're doing now is proposing that their curricula merge into one streamlined curriculum. And Professor David Petrowski, the department chair, is here today if you have any questions in more detail.
Do you want to add any detail at this point?
David, would you like to comment on that?
I think that it is pretty straightforward in terms of our intention, is merging the curricula. At the same time, what we're trying to do is streamline the prerequisite process so that it's easier for students to enter in as transfer students and complete the degree in a timely fashion. And that's the intention for the curriculum changes.
Any questions from the regents present on these 2 items, 3A and 4B? Seeing no questions or comments, may I have a motion to approve these items, these two items?
Second.
All regions in favor of approving these two items?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Two items are approved.
Thank you.
Congratulations. They now go to the board. This is not the last step, but they go to the full board of regents. The second group, which deals with cybersecurity issues, are items coming from Connecticut State. These are 3B and 3C on the agenda, and 4G. 4G is in girl. Provost Brown, are you?
Yes, good morning, everyone. Thank you, Regent Bloom. Definitely wanted to bring these wanted to bring the discontinuations forward as it relates to CT State and cybersecurity. And so I have a couple of esteemed colleagues with me to provide any additional feedback as relates to questions that may be answered, as well as to give some additional insights. And so I have Dr. Justin Moore, who is our Dean of Engineering and Technology for CT State, and also Michael Stefanowicz as well. And so I'll turn it over to Mike and Justin.
Good morning. I'll let Justin address this. I think he's on the call. He knows the details, but it is summarized in the package as well. Justin?
Yeah, good morning, everyone. So CT State has a number of, when I say computer science, I'm using that term as an umbrella for all the IT-related programs, cybersecurity, networking, software development, et cetera. So under our computer science, we have 31 different degrees and certificates, and it is far too confusing for our students, and we're essentially diluting our enrollments by having so many. And many of these are redundant and have considerable overlap between others. So right now, the computer science faculty of CT State are working together collaboratively. They're actually in a shared governance meeting right now working on more changes. We're trying to streamline our programs and our certificates for the benefit of our students, and also to strengthen our programs overall, because like I've said, our enrollments are diluted by having so many certificates and degrees, especially when they're so redundant. So two of the programs, there was actually a second certificate that will come up in a later meeting.
Yes.
But eliminating the cybersecurity option certificate and the cybersecurity associate's degree. Again, there are better options for students to move into. For example, our cybersecurity operations certificate. Currently, there are only 2 locations out of the 12 locations of the campuses at CT State offer this certificate. There are only 4 students declared in that program. They can be transferred into a similar program that is lower credits and gets students trained on the same industry recognized credentials. So overall, it's a better certificate for students once we eliminate this one. Same thing with our cybersecurity degree. We have 3 cybersecurity options, but we also have additional cybersecurity AS degrees that are offered at multiple campuses as well. So we're eliminating one of the 3 that sit under this cybersecurity heading or parent program. And again, those students that are currently enrolled in this AS degree would be transitioned over to one of the other cybersecurity degrees without any loss of credits. The name changes, 4G and 4H, those are the 2 certificates that these students would be transitioning into, and we're just changing the name to make it more modern and clear up any confusion for students.
Does that conclude the presentation?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Questions or comments from the regents? Regent James?
Yes, I admire this whole process. It's exactly consistent with what we are trying to do for the entire system. You know, eliminate redundancies, make the programs more effective and relevant for students, and So I only have two questions. As you're doing this process, and I see it's going on throughout the entire system, are you finding that the approach that you're taking and the more you do it, it accelerates, the length of time it takes to go through this? In other words, are you developing some kind of a systematic approach to these, learning from prior, experiences? And then my second question is, and how will you know whether your intentions and your goals are being realized, and provide feedback to us, in what's the time frame to be able to say, this was the intent, this is the approach we've taken, and how long does it take for you to see whether or not the changes you're making are having the desired effect that you're seeking?
Thank you for those questions, Regent James. Well, like I said before, one of the really great outcomes from this process that we're going through right now, because again, we are a new institution, we're trying to bring 12 groups of faculty together. So one of the really great outcomes from this is that there's more collaboration across the 12 campuses amongst the faculty, right? They're able to talk to and this is going through our shared governance, but they're also outside of our shared governance, they're talking, right? They're sending me questions regularly. I'm having teams meetings with them outside of shared governance. So it really is bringing the faculty together. Now, does this accelerate the approach? Yes, it does. Like I said, they're currently meeting right now. There's about 10 to 12 of them of computer science faculty that I jumped out of that meeting to come into this one. And they've got a list of modifications that they're going through. So in some cases, they may be increasing credits for courses, but they may be doing that because they want to improve the student success outcomes for students receiving industry recognized credentials like Cisco Certified Networking Associate, right? These are credentials that students can get a job right off of earning that credential, right? And these are very, very valued in the industry right now. So there are a lot of changes that are going through, and I think it is accelerating the process. We're getting better at recognizing where the redundancies are. There's less infighting because, there's whenever you want to scale back a program, somebody is always, there's an instructor for that program. There's a faculty member attached to that program. But now they're seeing that we're doing these changes for the betterment of our students, right? For the outcomes of our students. Now, in terms of outcomes, what's the length of time? It depends on if it's a certificate, a shorter level certificate, we may see the fruits of that labor within a year. But if it's an AS degree, typically 2 to 3 years before we start seeing the results of those outcomes. So I hope I answered all of your questions, Regent James.
You did. Thank you. I think it's very enlightening. Not only that, it's a very wise approach, and look forward to continued conversations over time as you see this work continue, and the outcomes that we're getting for our students. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
It's really good to hear
Re-
that level of collaboration, coordination, and how it's making us work together more effectively.
You're going to see a lot of me in the next few months.
Regent Porth.
I appreciate Juanita's questions, and mine is a follow-up, really. It's exciting to hear about this collaborative process among the 12 community colleges. My question is a general one. Is that kind of constructive collaboration consistent across all the community colleges and across all the various disciplines? Is that something we're experiencing across the whole CT state system right now?
I would say yes. Or Mike, if you want to take that one.
Yeah, I would say yes as well. Quite a bit of that happened during the original alignment process, but for various reasons, either political or otherwise, some folks, did not fully participate. And now we're seeing, I guess I would call a little bit of cleanup is what we're doing now. And we're adding things that may have been missed, or we're consolidating things. And I think, our governance structure that's been built allows for representation in any discipline for any campus that offers a program or offers that subject. So everybody has an opportunity to be at the table and to bring forward their work. And, I think, first of all, we did an amazing job, our faculty did, of whittling down over 1,200 programs to about 300 right now, degrees and certificates. But I think in the future, you may see even fewer. Now, we will still add new innovative programs, but I think as folks are working through and seeing what students are enrolling in and how they're working, they're realizing that there may be some redundancy or some overlap. And in Dean Moore's area, especially with technology, there had been really good collaboration with the College of Technology, which Justin can speak to, with our engineering programs and many of our technology programs. There wasn't a similar body for our computer areas. So many of our former colleges' current campuses designed programs to meet local needs, and there wasn't as much of an opportunity to collaborate. So we're definitely seeing that. We're definitely seeing that as course offerings are all, we have common course numberings and common course scheduling. So I think the collaboration has really increased, and it's really a positive thing for our students. Justin, I didn't mean to cut you off, but go ahead if you have more. Yeah.
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth, Mike.
Provost Brown, you were going to add to this?
Yes, I will add, thank you, Regent Bloom, and I thank my colleagues for really delving in even deeper. As a relative newcomer to our system, but having worked in other places as well, I think this is a strength, the collaboration that I see. I get a chance to sit in curricular Congress meetings. I am in contact with our deans and executive dean Stefano Wood and others. And again, I think this is a strength, and I think there will be more of this moving forward, which is a positive because it will lead to more positive outcomes for our students across CT State. So I just wanted to add that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Regent McCarthy?
Yes, I want to echo all the comments of my colleagues. I think this is a wonderful example of what many people over recent years had hoped would be the result of the consolidation of the community colleges into one. I just have a specific question. I think I know the answer, but I want to put it out there anyway. And that is that by, just as the provost said, by reducing the number of somewhat different programs to a much smaller number, I assume this will make it much easier for a student at one of the campuses to pick up a course in a comparable program at another campus, should it be more convenient or more accessible to them. And have you seen any indications that there might be some increase in cross-campus enrollment as a result of this kind of work? That would be another positive thing, particularly for students and their flexibility.
I think I can take that. Yeah, so what's also happening is we have a number of highly specialized courses that are in some of these certificates as well that are only offered at singular or unique campuses, right? So by eliminating some of those that aren't being offered, and then you're ending up with these low enrolled courses across the board. Well, so rather than having these highly specialized courses that are only offered at one certain place, now you're getting more of those students taking classes that may be offered from other campuses. But again, you're lowering the number of total classes that you have, so that you're also improving your chances that you're going to meet minimum enrollments in your classrooms. But yes, I think this would increase the number of students taking classes across multiple campuses. I mean, we're seeing that already, but I think, but again, this is going to bring the faculty together as a whole, I believe, and I think just make all of the programs that much stronger.
Yeah.
Thank you. Professor Sanker?
Yeah, so of course, it's always a benefit when there's increased collaboration across a system as large as our own, and in fact, when there's a collaboration across the college as large as our own, right?
Yes, Mr. Sanker, can we see you? Would you be willing to turn on your?
I'm not able to do that at the moment, sorry.
Okay.
But I will say that I want to echo the emphasis on, the reporting and evaluation of, how this is, with a particular emphasis on being really careful about our measures of success. there is this balance between the diversity of our campuses, the differences in student body, strengths, and interest across the different campuses in the state, but also the differences in size, right? So how do we serve, the majority of students, but also a wide range of students? But also, when we think about things like, are we not incentivizing, but making it more possible for students to take classes across campuses, keeping in mind also the demographics of our students, the fact that is a strain on many of our students, especially in a state with struggles with public transportation like our own, and the fact that first generation students need community. So, I don't know where the thoughtful questions or the thoughtful conversation about what these measures of success would be. But I look forward to them, being communicated pretty regularly to this body.
Thank you, Professor Susanka. I have a question about the modalities that these courses are these all on-ground courses, or are they mixed? Is this mixed?
They're a mix. They're a mix of modalities. In the IT area, and I hear what Professor Sitzinker was saying, of course, because based on the program, for example, a manufacturing program is not going to be highly, a lot of courses aren't going to be online, right? Students are going to be within their location, right? They're going to go to their school that's near where they live. With IT, right, and computer science related courses, a lot more of our students are looking for online modalities. But we are keeping a good mix that there are options, right? We run the gamut of high flex, on ground, live remote, and fully online for our students. So I think at this point we haven't been seeing any negatives in our modalities in this particular program under the computer science realm. But I think our flexibility is there, and we respond to what our students tell us, right? We listen to our GPAs at our campuses and what the students are telling them. So anytime we're working on scheduling, we're always taking into account information from all sides at the campuses. What are they hearing from the students? We try to respond to that as quickly as we can.
Thank you. Regent James?
Okay, coming back in, Professor Sanka, I absolutely appreciate the comments that you're making, because I've had the privilege of working with three community colleges in the Lower Fairfield area. Housatonic, Norwalk, and Gateway. And that was a partnership relationship with the Community Foundation, where we were able to introduce a program that provided some very significant wraparound services and support for students that need it the most, and then able to transfer that from one community college to the next, making the appropriate modifications based on both the geography and the profile. And I would hope that we would see more of that. And the opportunity, I think, is to partner with other organizations and institutions that can help us supplement the funding for those types of needs that may be outside of the state funding budget that we have for for our entire system.
Any other comments, questions from the regents? Okay. May I have a motion to approve items 3B, 3C, and 4G?
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? They're carried. They will now go to the Board of Regents. Thank you. This was a very interesting presentation. And Provost Brown, thank you very much. The next items we're moving, we're traveling around the state. We're going to come to Southern. Items 4A and 4C. These are two separate master's programs involving modifications. One is the MBA and the other is the health education. So we're going to do those separately. 4A, Provost Present.
Thank you again, Regent Bloom. This is a fairly straightforward but important change for our MBA program. It's an effort to STEMify the program. And with me today is the Dean of our School of Business, Dean Baronico. Jess?
Good morning. Can everyone hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Provost Prezant. We've made some changes in the MBA program to increase its competitiveness and allow us to emerge into a broader enrollment market globally. And those changes primarily include two insignificant changes where we changed the balance between the number of credit hours in the electives and the core to facilitate students having an opportunity to take electives. We've done a renumbering of a few courses to be consistent, but the significant change is that we have stemmed up the MBA program to align it more with competitive best practices in MBA programs and also align it more with industry standards. So we are requesting a CIP change in terms of the STEM CIP codes that are available, with the hope that this will increase our opportunities to engage a broader market of students in the program, increase our competitiveness, and more rigor into the program in ways that align with industry standards.
Comments or questions from the regents? Regent James? You're muted.
I will not hog up this entire meeting, but I did want to say I had the pleasure of visiting Southern Monday and the business school, as well as a number of other programs. And I really commend you for the work that you're doing. The MBA program is very impressive. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to meet you personally, but your staff gave me a very, very nice overview of not only the facility, but the STEM initiatives. And I do think that it's all an excellent way of being more competitive in terms of this degree, and just commend you for the thought that has gone into it, as well as the way you're approaching. So I'm wishing you tremendous success in terms of increased visibility, enrollment, and all of those things. And I think you're going to get there.
Very much appreciated. Thank you very much.
Are there other comments or questions from the regents?
Regent Bloom, it's Rick Porth. I just want to say thank you. I'm again excited about this recommendation, especially with regard to our efforts to widen our reach. And I applaud that, and I hope that we'll have the opportunity in the coming months to review and vote on those kinds of recommendations going forward. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Other comments or questions from the regents? If not, can I have a motion to approve the modification for the the MBA program at Southern?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The modification is approved and will be forwarded to the board. The second program is the master's program in health education. Provost Present.
Thank you again, Regent Bloom. This is a straightforward change in mode of delivery, and my colleagues have trusted that I could handle this one on my own.
It's good to have faith in the provost.
It is an argument and a discussion that we've heard many, many times during the pandemic. When we shifted to fully online, it made a very big difference in our ability to offer a wider audience different programs. This is one of those programs that's currently offered on the ground and online, and the request is to move it to fully online only. It obviously has greater outreach and potential for outreach out of the state as well. So it could be a program that grows beyond our boundaries right now. So the request is to move it from on ground and online to fully online.
Okay, thank you. Comments or questions from the regents? Okay. Seeing no comments or questions, is there a motion to approve the modification?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? modification is approved by the committee. Thank you, Provost Present. Now we're going to travel to the western part of the state. We have the next item is the modifications to the criminal justice program at Western. These are 4D and 4E, modification of the CIP code and application for a name change. Provost Hegedus, are you here?
Yes, thank you, Regent Bloom. I'm representing Western today with Dean Palladino, the Dean of the School of Professional Studies. Again, this is a fairly straightforward change, but an important one as well, in order for the program to be named and reclassified with a SIP code to better represent the program and to also increase traffic to the search engines, because students aren't finding the degree program at the moment. So this is one step in that direction to help increase enrollments. Dean Palladino is here as well today. Joan, do you want to add anything more?
Sure. I just like to make it clear that we're not changing our program at all. It's a very successful program, one of our successful ones. The curriculum saying the change is simply a name change, because in our name now, Justice and Law, it doesn't mention criminology at all, which is really what we've been doing all along. And it's very important that's part of our name. So I just want to be clear that we're offering things as, the same, and it's still a successful program. When the chair was, going through and doing the name change, we did notice that this is a slight change in the SIP code. If you look 103 and 103, which it was and 107. It's a very slight change, but she did feel it's more indicative of what they're actually doing. So basically, this is pretty straightforward and something that has been talked about for quite some time. So.
Yeah. Comments or questions about this item? I think, just from my perspective, this is useful. I mean, justice and law could be a philosophy sequence. And that's not what your program is, from what I know. So it's important that the students understand what's available and from my perspective, criminal justice always turns out to be very popular on the campuses. So for a whole variety of reasons. So okay. Any other comments or questions on this item? May I have a motion to approve items 4D and 4E involving the criminal justice program from Western? Second.
So moved.
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay. We now have 4F and 4H. We're going back, we're retracing our steps a bit to Connecticut State. And we have the program, the health information tech and networking, 4F and 4H. Provost Brown, are you?
All right, thank you, Regent Bloom. Really quickly, this change, and Mike Stefano will lead us through the details, but it speaks to us listening to our industry partners and advisory committee meetings and making sure that we're offering relevant courses, very much like in the conversation that we had concerning Dean's Moore's area as well. And so, Mike, I'm going to turn it over to you to go into details.
Yes, thank you, Provost Brown. So,
Professor, would you do them each separately, please? So
sure. So for the health information technology, as you can see, upon advice of the advisory board, there are proposed modifications to add additional contact hours in anatomy and physiology, and then also add to the demands in health for health information professionals to interpret medical documentation. These are significant changes. Well, they're below, yeah, they are significant changes. They're not below threshold, but these are upon the advice of the advisory board. We do have Professor Jill Flanagan available to answer any detailed questions, as this is her content expertise.
Any questions on item 4F? Comments? Okay. May I have a motion to approve item 4F, health information tech modification?
I'll move that.
I'll
Second.
second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? This item is approved. Now we're going to 4H, networking.
Yes, and this is a program name change specifically related to some of the cybersecurity changes that we previously discussed. Again, just trying to be clearer with our program names. This will be related to a certificate we will bring forward to discontinue at next month's meeting.
How are you, given everything that's happening so quickly in cybersecurity, are you able to keep the curriculum adjusted to deal with such nice things as generative AI threats and aspects of?
I think that's the challenge. In my experience, the computer programs, both cybersecurity and networking, are constantly changing. So you will probably see a lot of me and also Dean Moore over the next year, not just to collapse and make our programs more effective, but also to bring forward changes in courses. As much as possible, I know, and Dean Moore can speak to this, the faculty attempt to not lock in their course outcomes to any particular software package or any particular item. But as you noted, Regent, there's always changes, especially in the cybersecurity. AI is a huge issue. Dean Moore, I don't know if you have any more details you'd like to add.
No, you hit the nail on the head there, Mike. We're not trying to lock ourselves in when we write course descriptions for courses. We're not trying to lock ourselves into specific softwares, right? That used to be the practice. Now with how rapidly technology changes, how rapidly software changes, we're just trying to make sure that we're more flexible, more broad in terms of we can incorporate those changes without having to change a course by locking ourselves in. So, and again, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but the faculty are really collaborating together. When they do see changes now, they're responding to those changes. They're incorporating this into their curriculum, and we're trying to incorporate more relevant industry type credentials into our curriculum as well. So I think we're addressing these things as they come up, and that's another benefit of our faculty working together across the 12 campuses.
My sense is in this area, which I'm also a bit involved, is if you take a nap, something has happened. Regent James?
Actually, I was going to say the same thing, but maybe not as effectively. This area is changing so rapidly, we all need to be paying attention to it. And so I'm very happy to see that focus and would love to see more of it, because it is impacting every aspect of our lives, and we need to embrace it and understand it and figure out what we're going to. It's sort of like when the internet came on board, there were people who said, well, this isn't the way we do things. And for those who didn't pay attention to that absolute paradigm shift, they had a very difficult time, catching up. So I'm very happy to hear that we're doing this.
Thank you. Any other comments about this item? All those in favor of approving item 4H from Connecticut State?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, my item is approved. Provost Brown, thank you very much for the group. The next item is a new program from Southern, teaching English for speakers of other languages. We're back to Southern. Provost Present.
Thank you again, Regent Bloom. I'm excited about this program. The TESOL program is one that has incredible potential. We all know we're growing our multicultural communities, especially in urban areas. And the need for programs like this is only going to grow, and employment opportunities are only going to grow. And I guess there was less trust that I could do this on my own because we brought a small army here. So joining us to discuss this is our Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences, Bruce Kalk, our Interim Dean of the College of Education, Dr. Carrie Sassu, and Professor Elena Schmidt, who's a professor of applied linguistics and coordinator of our TESOL program. So I think I'm turning it over to Bruce.
Thank you, Provost Present. TESOL is a severe shortage area in PK through 12 public schools, and has been for the past 12 years. There is an increasing proportion of English language learners in Connecticut that is projected to increase further in the coming years. At this point in time, there are only 10 TESOL teacher certification programs at the undergraduate level nationwide, and only one in the entire Northeast. So ours would be the second in the Northeast, if approved. There are no additional faculty resources necessary to implement this program. Arts and Sciences has 2 full-time faculty members in TESOL, and the College of Education has 2 as well. And at that juncture, I will turn it over to Dean Sassu to discuss further.
Good morning. Can you hear me well?
Yep.
Yes.
Excellent. So I think, Dean Kalk has provided kind of the critical considerations as they relate to justification for this program, and kind of shared those relevant statistics and history, and certainly the potential for this to be a growing program to meet a growing need. With that said, I would only add from my perspective as a former school-based practitioner who worked to support diverse needs of students, and as a university professor who trained school-based practitioners, I know, as I'm sure all of you do as well, that culturally competent educators who possess specific skills, unique skills needed to ensure the success of students who are English learners and speakers of other languages is critical to the realization of their full potential. So I hope that you will recognize the critical importance of increasing the presence and the prevalence of educators who possess not only the understanding and the will, but the specific skills to ensure students succeed will be acknowledged through your support of this. So I will turn it over to Dr. Schmidt because she has all of the answers to any questions you might have about curriculum.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for such amazing and eloquent introduction to the program. So I guess I'll just wait for your questions because my deans have said everything there is to say. Maybe I can just add that the program has enough space to prepare students in 2 majors simultaneously within 120 credits. And this would be a great service to our public schools because ESL teachers often support students in other subject areas as they help students develop their English proficiency.
Thank you. Questions or comments from the regents?
Regent
McCarthy.
I just want to say how pleased I am with this initiative as well, and to hear that we're actually will be only the second such offering in the Northeast is surprising to me, but it represents a tremendous opportunity for us to serve, and I'm very proud to be part of that, part of this system and this effort. Thanks.
I just wonder before I turn to Regent McCarthy, second at the baccalaureate level, I assume we're talking about.
Yes.
Okay. Because there are master's level programs in this area.
Yes, we have master's level programs at Southern and Central, but there is nothing available at the baccalaureate level. And we feel that there will be a lot of students, and through our marketing analysis, we found that there will be students who would be interested in getting initially certified in TESOL, and will be able to serve this growing population of students sooner.
Okay, thank you. Regent McCarthy?
Yes, I just want to pass on my thanks for your taking on this task. This is one of those, unfortunately, too rare opportunities where you get to do the right thing for people in the state, what they need, and you also get to address a substantial workforce shortage. So this is win-win, and probably win on some other dimensions as well. So thank you. This is a great thing.
Yeah.
Regent James?
I just want to echo my thanks and kudos. I know we have over 60 languages spoken in the Stanford public school system. So very excited to see this happen.
Thank you so much.
Any other comments or questions? Okay. Seeing none, is there a motion to approve the program in TESOL at Southern?
So moved.
Second.
Second, okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? New program is approved. It will go to the full board at the full board's next meeting. So congratulations on getting this step through this step. And I want to join my colleagues on the board in expressing my own feelings about how important this program is. So
Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Next item is a continuation of the center on Values in Emerging Science and Tech, a very apropos subject. Provost Present, we're returning to you again.
Thank you again, and thank you to all the members here for all the approvals up to this point. I think you're going to like this one as well. The CVEST is a very interesting center with a lot of very creative activities. As Regent Bloom alluded to, this is a center that works at the crossroads of STEM and science disciplines and human morality and ethics, a relatively important topic as we were talking about cybersecurity just a while ago. So with me today to further discuss is Dean Kalk. So I'll turn it over to him.
Thank you, Provost Present. RCVest has been a fixture on campus for many years. The most notable, I think, are the speakers series that RCVest sponsors. We bring in very exciting speakers, and there is quite a bit of buzz around each of those events. The center remains self-sustaining, and I'll leave it at that unless you have any questions.
Questions from the regents? I have a question about, in reading the materials, as we've talked about, generative AI seems to be something that is going to impact all of us, as we've commented earlier. I didn't see that much reference to that in the proposal. The biotech material is considerable. I assume the center will engage with generative AI and the issues it presents.
I think it's indisputable that RCVest will have to wrestle with issues about generative AI.
You have plans for how this is going to happen?
I'll be discussing this with the director, Dr. Sarah Rowe, in the coming days.
Thank you. Okay. Any other comments, questions from the regents? Motion to approve the continuation of the center. Have a motion. Make the motion. Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion is carried.
Thank you.
We have one last item. Provost Present, thank you very much. You have covered a lot of material with us today. The promotion from Western. Provost Hagedus, do you want to add anything to this?
No, I have nothing. Given it's day 10 for me on the job.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's good to be here, and I am no stranger to this committee as being a dean at Southern, but I have nothing more to add. The only thing in the resolution, I saw a typo of President Singh's name on page 85. But apart from that, I concur with the recommendation.
And excuse me, just as a matter of note, those corrections have been made. Thank you, Dr. Hagedis.
Thank you.
Okay. All in favor of approving the promotion recommendation?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay. This carries us to the below threshold items. We have 9 below threshold items on the agenda for the Regents' information. They don't require board action, but if any of the Regents has a question about any of those items, this would be the time to ask it.
I do want to make a note on one of the items for below threshold, 8A, the Computer Science Master of Science program. This particular item, the modality checkbox was marked as online, but the program will remain hybrid. This does not impact anything related to it. It was just a mischecked box.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Davis. Any other comments about good and welfare from any of the Regents? If not, it's time to probably move to the favorite motion of the day. Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion to adjourn carries. I want to thank everybody for their participation and contribution to the meeting. I think we accomplished quite a bit today, and looking forward to moving forward. So thank you, everybody. Welcome to the new semester and all the things that go with that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Meeting is adjourned. Meeting is hereby adjourned.
Take care.
Your live stream is stopped.